Hello people, this is Daniel from Devil & Sons Guitars here, and I'm going to walk us through the design process that I work with my clients, taking their initial sparks of ideas and developing them into full guitars. Sometimes my clients come to me with an idea that's more or less finalised, and I help them work out all the small nuances and develop it into a real playable work of art. Sometimes they come with a very vague idea or multiple ideas and they're not really sure where to go. And we have a complete back and forth collaborative process in which we come out with something that is absolutely perfect for them, very unique and different to anything else you can find. Also at the end of the video I'm going to talk about this fella, clearly not a guitar, but another project I've just worked on with a musician, taking his initial idea and developing it to something quite monumental. If this video triggers an idea in you, maybe you have an old guitar that you want to put a new spark of life into, or maybe you've just got some idea of a TV program, a movie, or some genre that you're really interested in and you want to see that in a guitar form to match your music, do get in contact.
In this video I'm going to give a few examples of different processes of working with clients on design. This first one is a guitar I worked on with Zacharias from Iterative. He already had a Dean Razorback V that he really liked, but he wanted it to be a bit more personal and represent the band in some way. So we looked at various options of how the logo might fit on the guitar. He decided he wanted it in the hollow between the V. We tried to work out various options of how it might attach. At the same time we were looking at the body finish. He knew he wanted a metallic finish with gunmetal plates on it somehow, and it's looked worn and damaged. I gave him a few options of how the damage might look, and once he decided on that, we dropped back in the logo into the void of the V and gave him some options on colours until we ended up with the final design. So here's some footage of it in action. This looks like we just went along a linear process of trying out ideas from one to another until we got to the finished design. But actually there were lots of branches of trying other things out and going in different directions. I've left them out of the video to make it a bit clearer, but often what I find is we try out different ideas that may not work, but elements of them might come back in at a later stage. So it's a really collaborative back and forth. I have a client in America called John who already owns a couple of my guitars, and he was very keen on making a personalised one that linked into his love of sci-fi, but he wasn't sure what direction to go in. He thought maybe it should connect to his love of the British TV show Red Dwarf, so I gave him a few options that included the Red Dwarf ship itself and Starbug. He also wanted something that connected to the Aliens films, so this is the M14 pulse rifle from the Aliens film, and he also wanted something Tron related. So I gave him a few examples of what a Tron guitar might look like, and it was that he settled on. So we simply took that forward into the strap design, which is what we wanted. I gave him options for scratch plates, options for body patterns. He picked the ones he liked, put them together, and then we ended up with this guitar. Sometimes I'll work with a client to design something now, for them to go away and think on, and we come back to it at a later stage, 6 months, a year down the line, and realise it then. I'm very happy to work with people to develop ideas, but sometimes you've really got to live with that idea for a bit before you know it's right for you, or have time to make those small changes to it that you know are going to make it uniquely yours. Quite often we'll think about the design and shape and add colour later. Sometimes it works the other way around. This guitar, which went to Horatio in Mexico, was based on the Mad Axe series that I'd already made, but he wanted it a bit more unique for him. So everything came out of looking at other guitars I'd already made and him picking and choosing the parts he liked. And the final stage was really deciding on the colour of the top part and how relict it would be. So as well as mocking up some drawings, I sent him some photos. Another Mad Axe guitar that I designed for someone involved having bullets and skulls on it. So I gave them a range of choices which they picked from. I often would do a hand-drawn image at life size, 1:1 scale, scan it into the computer, annotate it, ask for some feedback about the different options, drop in the colour, and then it all changes slightly in the making process when I'm going back and forth with the client. So the design process stage will end with something like this, and the actual guitar will look like that. So there's definitely a link.
If this video has given you any ideas of something you want to see realised as a guitar, maybe it's a movie inspired, book inspired, some sort of genre that you think will match your music, do get in contact. You can leave a comment below in the YouTube video, message me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all the normal social media stuff. Also, The website devilandsons.guitars has got my contact information on it. So do let me know if you've got an idea, but here's a bit more about this Cthulhu microphone stand.
For this one, Mike from the band Beyond the Gallows sent me a sketch of what he wanted. An upright mic stand with a Cthulhu monster head, a base that he could use to rest his foot on, a bit like an ego box, and a tentacle that came out of the back that was movable, that could hold the mic, but at the same time was detachable, so he could wrap it around his arm and walk around the stage holding it. One thing I always ask my clients for if they're up for it is to send me a series of images that I can use as a mood board. So in this case, it was a series of images to do with Cthulhu, to think about where the eyes will go, the colour of the skin, how the tentacles will look, and the mouth. But it might be as simple as looking at the colour of a guitar, the shape of a guitar, a collection of skulls, some images that might give a sense of texture, feeling, a sci-fi theme, anything they really want. It helps give me something to refer back to as I'm working. So I'll use this as a chance to explain how the back and forth of emails work. I'll send an email with an image and some questions. Once I get the responses, I'll add something else to the image, trying not to add too much at a time. So this went from thinking about how the mic stand might work, focusing on the face, focusing on the bass, how the bass structure might work, then thinking about some other elements of it, then looking at the tentacle. If I did it all in one go, it might be a bit overwhelming, but thinking about one piece at a time really helps us focus, and then every now and then I'll go back and summarise everything that we've said so far and put it together. Then with builds such as this one, there's some options really to make as we go along. So it's a matter of sending the client images throughout the process to help them make options. Options about, in this case, where the eyes might go, some of the colours. And then we end up with a finished article that hopefully has a direct link back to the original sketch and idea that the client had, but maybe has evolved in other ways through our conversation and discussion throughout the process.
And one more thing, people, please do all the normal social media jazz stuff and do the like, share, subscribe on our different social media platforms. It'll be great to get the word out about Devil & Sons. I'm very excited to work with new people, developing their ideas into something really unique, something that's really personal to them, and something that's really going to wow on stage.